Welcome to the Jeffrey Henderson Show. Who's calling? What's on your mind?
This is Stephen Chung
Stephen, how you doing, sir?
from Boston. How are you?
Oh, real good. All the way from Boston?
That's right, I'm calling you.
Oh, man. That's great, man. I really appreciate you calling in today on the Jeffrey Henderson Show, being a part of our show on today.
Well, thanks for having me.
Oh, no problem. Let's start off with the weather, man. Let's start off really easy. How about that?
Okay.
How's the weather out there in Boston?
Weather is probably not as nice as it is there.
Well, it's not raining, is it?
No, it's good. It's, the fall, it's seasons. Boston's nice. You've got 4 seasons, so it's the fall.
Oh, really? I have a sister that lives out there in Boston, man, and she loves it out there.
Yeah, no, this fall's okay. It's all right. I can't complain, really.
That's good. That's what it's all about. Okay, well, let's just get right into it then. Let's talk about your career a little bit. And I tell you what, before we do that, let's talk about how all this came about. You got a chance to meet my manager, Maureen?
Yeah.
Okay, and so...
You mean the Showtime thing?
Yeah. So how was that?
That was, it was pretty cool. Do you know anything about that program that they have?
No, I don't. She was telling me I'm all the way in Hollywood, and Maureen was telling me from New York. But go ahead.
Yeah, the Showtime Network has a program that they run for the past couple of years now where they basically have designers, architects, interior decorators kind of interpret their shows. And they have them design a space based on, a character or something like that. And they basically kind of give us a space and say, do your thing. It's not designing their set or anything like that. It's really more, kind of taking the character and sort of being inspired by them and doing something. So it's kind of the intersection of design and television or something. So it's kind of a cool program. It's a kind of a neat idea.
Oh, that's good. So did you participate in that, and how did you enjoy it?
It's fantastic. It's pretty crazy because you basically got like 12 or maybe a little bit more, 12 designers in this penthouse. 3 penthouses actually in New York, and we're on top of each other, kind of trying to scramble around and over say a month in New York, trying to sort of do something kind of cool. So it's a pretty crazy, frantic time where we're all kind of scrambling around, and then then you see it done, and then people come and they see it. It's pretty cool. I got to tell you, the funny thing was that opening night, Showtime Network basically has all of their stars come in for the red carpet, and they come in and they walk through the space. So, I expected to see all the characters from the different shows, which I saw, which was cool.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have like Warren Sapp and Phil Simms and walking around the space, and I was like, "What are you guys doing here?" I mean, I had no idea that Showtime Network also had an NFL show, so it was kind of a funny thing to see Warren Sapp kind of walking through my space. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's nice. So you get a chance to meet a lot of different actors and actresses too as well.
Not normally. I mean, I think that this is sort of a unique circumstance. So, yeah, in this case, I did. It was fun.
Oh man, that's good. Well, I'm
Let me ask you a question, Jeffrey.
Yeah, go ahead.
Now, because I don't know your program because you're in Los Angeles, I'm in Boston, and I was doing a little research, and I checked your Maureen gave me all this information. I thought it was great, and you got Snoop Dogg and Pam Grier and Diddy. I'm like, why are you calling me? I'm just an architect in Boston.
Well, you know what? That is a fantastic question, but the answer to that question is you are the very first architect that we got a chance to be on the Jeffrey Henderson Show, and we thought it'd be a good look because, I've been interviewing celebrities for the last 9 years, over 12,000 celebrities. And so now sometimes it's good to switch up a little bit and start interviewing people that I haven't interviewed, like the people in the sports world, news, weather, whatever. That's what I'm trying to do now, trying to mix it up a little bit in between all the celebrities that we have been doing for years and years and years. So when this came across my desk, I thought this would be a good idea because this is the very first time that we got somebody, on the line of your caliber and can explain how that process works, which I'm going to talk about a little bit later on in the show.
Okay.
So it was very interesting. You were very interesting. So I was like, okay, I got a chance to read your bio too as well. I got the information from Maureen, and can't retain all that technical stuff that was on there. But I'm telling you, just to get a chance to talk to you and speak with you, I thought that would be a great show for the Jeffrey Henderson Show.
Okay, cool. No, I appreciate you. I appreciate you inviting me. So So what do we do? When do we do it?
Okay, here we go. We're going to go now. It's 3:17.
Okay.
Okay, now let's talk a little bit about your business. Okay. Tell us how your business started out. You know, how long you've been an architect, and how did it start off for you, and did you have different signs in your head to say that this is what you wanted to be growing up?
Yeah, of course you started the really hard ones. That's supposed to be easy, right? Hard because what I was doing a little while ago was doing fairly well in Boston, doing kind of residential and hospitality.
Okay.
But like probably, I don't know how Los Angeles is, but in Boston, I mean, we really got wiped out in the past several years in those sectors. So I began to kind of rethink and try to reconsider kind of how to reshape, the things I'm interested in. And one of those things has to do with is television. It's really more about education, actually, because I was a teacher in college for a long time, and trying to figure out ways to kind of bridge the gap between the public and architecture. Because architects typically, people think we're off on the side doing something, and they don't know what we're doing. And I thought maybe there's a way to try to develop a television show where we could educate but also entertain.
Mm-hmm.
So I did. I've been working on that for a couple of years. I still practice, but it's not as intensive as it was before. I mean, as you know, doing this kind of thing, it takes a lot of time and energy. And me being in Boston, I don't have that kind of. I'm not in that world, so all of this is kind of new to me, and I've been kind of learning as I've been going. But that's what I've been doing. So it was not the goal, but it's something more that I kind of stepped into, and I'm still working towards.
Oh, that's great. Now, how about that blueprint process? You got to do everything on I guess you got to sketch it out first, and then after you sketch it out, then I believe you have to put it on the blueprints and stuff, and then after that you have a finished product.
Well, it's funny because blueprints don't really exist anymore.
Okay.
Blueprints was a process when we did drawings on paper, and it was a way to make reproductions or copies of them.
Mm-hmm.
But that was like this hardcore ammonia that you put through a machine, and it was a kind of it was a pretty toxic way to make copies. And now we use a printer, we use a computer, we plot the prints out. It's you just don't use it anymore. Mm-hmm. Now, when I was a young guy, I used to use blueprints, and I used to probably run blueprints as an intern. But now it's no longer. People don't use blueprints anymore.
Man, see, that's good information. That's good information. I'm in the car business too as well. When we put our spray booth in, this was years ago, about maybe 15, 20 years ago, and we put our spray booth in, and that's the first thing the city asked us for, some blueprints. So I had to hire a guy like you with all that knowledge that could put that together, so that they could see exactly where we was going to put this spray booth up. It was amazing. But so now today we don't do that anymore, huh?
Don't do it.
Okay.
Yeah, the sad thing is that when I went to school, which is probably longer than it was a while ago, and you learn how to draw by hand.
Right.
And then as soon as I graduate, basically you get this big seismic shift where everyone's starting to use the computer, and now it's kind of passing you by. All the technology it's sort of racing along. It's pretty amazing how things change so quickly. I mean, back in let's say in the early 90s, there was no internet. I mean, there was no email. I mean, when I had to send a drawing over to you, I had to bring it over to you. I couldn't just sort of push the button. Things changed.
No, that is right. That is right. Back then, that's exactly how it was, because that's how it was for me. And then my dad, he's a pastor of a church, so he built a 3-story church in the city of Linwood. And the first thing I asked him for, but that was years ago, of course, was the blueprints. So now we're moving. Let's move on forward. So we're moving on to technology on the computer. So how is that done on the computer?
How are buildings designed on the computer?
Yeah. How is that designed? Say, for instance, I'm just gonna make it easy. You're gonna build a doghouse.
Yeah.
You're gonna build me a doghouse. Okay. And I come to you and I say, I want you to build me a doghouse, and I want you to sketch it out. I want you to give me dimensions on it. It's supposed to be so much in width, so much in length, and whatever else you do. And then you're going to present that to me and give me a price tag on how much it would cost for you to build me a doghouse. What is the first thing you do?
Isn't that much different? I mean, the computer's a tool, right? I mean, I can draw by hand, or I can draw by the computer. I mean, you basically are typing in coordinates and lines and lengths, and And as a three-dimensional tool, it's a good thing because you can really make very quickly. I can make it look like what it's going to look like. I mean, you can really envision it. So it's a great tool. I mean, I don't get me wrong. I think it's a great tool to use. So it's definitely kind of facilitated and I think improved things in a lot of ways. At the same time, it's just that art of sort of drawing by hand is lost a little bit. So I don't know if that's sort of in your business if things have changed in that way, but for us, it's just a new tool. You can't let the tool control you, but as long as you can kind of control the tool, I think it can be good for you.
Okay. All right. Now let's take it a step further. What do you see? What do you see in the future for architects on their design? I mean, do you see something else, another form of technology coming out that's more enhanced than what you're doing right now currently?
Yeah, what's happening is that, and this is sort of sad, but the computer is getting so good that you don't need as many guys to do it.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? I mean,
yes.
It's pretty easy to develop a system, a one way of doing something, and then making kind of minor changes to it. But it's not like you redraw everything every single time. I mean, you can kind of repeat it and copy it and make variations on it. You just need less guys. I mean, I think it's going to be contracting. It's going to be changing for sure, but I'm not quite sure about that. It's a bigger question, but which is why I'm sort of involved with other things because I'm really trying to kind of I want to be in the sort of business of explaining what we do and trying to help preserve our profession.
That's right. That's right. Now, how long have you been? No, that makes sense. How long have you been working in this field, sir?
Let's see. I graduated in the early '90s, so that's how many years is that? 20 years.
20 years. And what college did you graduate from?
I went to a college in upstate New York called Rensselaer, and I did my graduate work at Harvard.
See what I'm talking about? See, all these questions are very central, very important, because we are on live radio right now, so we have to paint a picture to the audience that's listening and everybody that's viewing this on YouTube and also on the Jeffrey Henderson Show, because this is being filmed and your voice is being taped as we speak so that you can go back later on and we can see this interview over and over and over again, 24 hours, 7 days a week. Another form of technology called YouTube and the internet.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I'm very impressed by the way you kind of leverage all these new technologies into this kind of multiple platform presentation. It's pretty cool. I think what you're doing is really neat.
Oh, thank you so much. And see, this is a beautiful thing about it. So, just like I said, tonight you'll be able to, when I get home, I'll be able to upload all this information that we're doing right now. This really nice interview that we're having right now. You'll be able to watch me right there on YouTube and also on the Jeffrey Henderson Show. So that's the most gratifying way of doing business nowadays.
Well, here's the funny thing. Now, interviewing an architect over the radio is probably not that interesting because the things that I do